Hello guys and welcome to today's video, the easy way to learn chess. We will begin by setting up the board. You will start with a rook on either corner, followed by a knight, next a bishop, and then this is the queen. It will always go on her color, so if you're playing as white, queen goes on white, and then king. And then all of the pawns will go in the first 8 squares. Movements. You have the most basic piece, the pawn. It moves one space forward, and it can only capture diagonally. For example, this is impossible, but it could take either of these from being right here. On its first and only its first move, it can move 2 spaces. After that, it'll only be 1, but it can also move 1 on the first move. Next, we have the rook. It can move side to side, up and down, as many spaces as possible till it either hits the edge of the board or a piece. Then we have the bishop. The bishop can only move diagonally, as many squares as possible until it either hits an edge or another piece. Next we have the queen, your strongest piece. It is both a rook and a bishop combined. It can move in any direction as many spaces as it wants until it either hits the edge of the board or another piece. Next we have the king. This is what you are protecting, is your most valuable piece, as if you lose it, you lose the game. It can move 1 space in any direction. Then we have the most complicated piece, the knight. It can move in sort of an L pattern. It can be upside down, it can be, for example, it can move over 2 and down 1 or up 1. It can move over 1 and down or up 2. It can move over 2 or down 1 or up 1, and so on. Simple tactics. Alright. Now we're going to learn of some simple tactics you need to know for just a basic game of chess. For example, these 4 squares are the most valuable squares. You control them, you have a huge advantage over your opponent. A very common first move is this one. And then the next most common first move would be that one. I like to play this opening, the ready opening, where you move that knight out, and then your pawn. That way your knight protects your pawn. Some people do it in the opposite order, up and then over. And here is a simple checkmate that can be played in 4 moves. Pawn to e4. They'll probably counter with pawn to e5. Then you play bishop to c4. And then they'll probably play something like knight to c6. Then you will play queen to f3. And they have a variety of moves that can block this. They could play that. They could play that. They could even play that. Most moves here will block you have 3 moves that will block that. You can also just do that. That way you move out of the way. But if they put the queen there and take that, then you'll be checkmate anyway. The reason you have it set up specifically like this is because this is the weakest pawn. It's only protected by the king. none of these pieces can reach it. Knight would move there or there, rook can't move, and the bishop's only diagonal. So the king is the only one that's protecting it. And so let's say they don't realize it and they play something like let's see here, and might play something like that. That also blocks it, but you could play this and then you're gonna get their queen, unless they move out of the way, in which case you still get their queen, which is a trade I personally make, but you might not want to just starting out. Basically, if they don't block it, you put your queen there and it's checkmate. Special moves. Now we would be talking about a couple of special moves that you can play during a simple game of chess. To start off, we will start off with castling. Castling is, let's say you have your king and your rook, and your king will move over 2 spaces, and your rook goes to the other side of your king. This can only be played if there are no other pieces in the way, and neither your king nor the rook you want to castle with has moved. Or if you are not in check. So if you're in check, you can't do it. Or if you're going through a check, which what I mean by that is like this, you're not in check, but this square here is a check, and your king would be passing over it. So you cannot do that. For example, a lot of people will do something like this as their opening. That bishop goes on that diagonal, that long diagonal, as it's its most powerful spot, and then they will castle. And they will have this set up, which is a pretty good defense. Alright, now we will talk about pawn promotion. So let's say there's nothing in the way and you have your pawn right here. What happens if it gets here if it cannot move backwards? Well, when it goes here, it can become either a queen, a bishop, a rook, or a knight. Anything other than the pawn or the king. Most people will get a queen as it's the most powerful piece, and usually that only happens if it's really late in the game. So let's say you do that and you get a queen. Well, now you have a queen, so you could, now you're attacking that, and you're going for the king. You have to be careful though, because it could potentially put them in a stalemate, which would cause the game to draw, even if you have a huge point advantage. Like right now, white has a +8 point advantage, which means it's a pawn left. Look, a pawn is worth 1, a rook 5, a knight and bishop are 3, a queen is 9, and the king is basically infinite, because if you lose it, you lose. So you have to be careful though, because let's say you got all that, just for an example, you got something like, oh, I don't know, say the pawns are just kind of gone. you get this pawn here, you make it a queen, and let's say all these pawns are just gone. And what I'm trying to say is you can do that and accidentally put them in a stalemate, so you do have to be careful. Because like a stalemate is just if they can't move. So like, let's say they're here and you accidentally put your queen like right here. That's a stalemate because they have no movements. There's nothing else they can move, and their king cannot move without being put in check. So that would be a stalemate, and it would be a draw. Even if this somehow happened, it would still be a draw. Quickly set this up. That is the basics of chess. That's about all you will need to know. Now we'll play a quick 5-minute match now. Now just so you know, I'm not super good at fast games, so do not judge. I am. Oh, that's the wrong time. Alright, 5-minute match. Taking a little bit, there it is. Alright, I'm white. I guess I'll play that. So they are rated 800, and I am 817. Okay, they're gonna reply with that. I'm gonna do that. As they could have tried the Scholar's Mate, but I wasn't gonna allow it. I will do that. I'm leaving this knight here because it's protecting this pawn from that. Ooh. If I take that knight with this knight, his pawn will come down and take. Or I can do that, and if he takes, then I take. There we go. Now if he puts his queen here, I'll put my queen there. I am currently winning in this situation. Just move back. He is in check, so now he will have to do that or move it over. And he cannot castle because he's in check. Sorry, just trying to see something. Sorry for the time it's taken. I thought this was a 5-minute match. I don't know why it's 10-minute, but I have a pretty good feeling I'm gonna win this. Alright, he plays that. I played that. I will take that. Because if I took with the pawn, I'd be stacking my pawns, which just means to have multiple pawns like on top of each other, like a pawn there and one here, which is not recommended at all. And I kept my bishop on that open diagonal. Mm-hmm. Check. Certainly playing better now than he was a couple seconds ago. I'm still pretty confident about this game though. Play that because I'm attacking that rook, but he cannot move it. As you can see down here, I am up a bishop. So I will make this trade if he gives it to me. He gave it to me. And then I take... No, I'm not gonna take that. But I'm gonna take this. Unless he just moves down or something. Which wouldn't be too bad of a move. I'm not sure what to do here. I think I'll do that because I want to try and get rid of that pawn. That way I can move my queen over to here. Do I want to lose my rook though? That's a question. I think I'll go there and put him in check. I'm sorry if I'm not very good at making any kind of videos, so I'm just trying to do what I can. I don't... Okay, who's blocking? So, do that. am definitely in a much position than he is. We will do that. I'm gonna be honest, I didn't see that, but oh well. I don't know, we'll just go right there. And he can't take because I have my queen protecting. Oh. Okay, yeah. I'll make that trade. That wasn't very smart on his end. I've definitely won this, guys. I really could take, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go right there. And then he moves that, and I get his knight. Or he does that, which I guess works too. I'll do that. Look at the point advantage. I have 14, which would be up. Let's see here. About 5 pawns and a rook and a queen. We'll go there. I'll sacrifice that knight, and if he takes it, I mean, it's a very good deal for me. Check. It ain't got much longer, guys. If y'all made it this far, you have to like and subscribe and leave a comment down below on what I can do to make my videos more entertaining. Check. We'll go with, you guessed it, check. And then we will go with, make sure, you hit anything? Okay, we'll go there. I screwed up a little bit, but it's alright. Check. We'll get rid of that. I still have almost every pawn to work with. We'll do that. And he takes. And then I go up. He's running out of time. Seriously, guys, please like and subscribe. I really need it. I'm sorry if you actually kind of enjoy my videos. I'm sorry that I haven't been uploading lately. And then I do that, and then I'm going to drive that pawn all the way up to there. He just goes down, then I take that pawn. I can checkmate with just a king and a queen, so there isn't anything to worry about there. We'll go there. And he can't take either of these because they're both protected. And that pawn can't move, so... And there's my queen. Alright. We're gonna make this a little easier on ourselves, and we're just gonna get 2 queens. He's out of time. Look at that, 5 seconds left, and I got 5 minutes left. Alright. Well, that was pretty simple. I hope y'all enjoyed, and like, subscribe, and comment if you want more. Bye bye.